Okay, this is going to be a little bit of an informal video, like many of my videos are. But I recently picked up a new lens, and I want to talk just briefly about my initial impressions of it. And that lens is the XF27mm 2.8 R WR. So this is the latest version of the 27mm pancake lens from Fujifilm. This was released earlier this year, a month or two ago, along with the Fujifilm XE4. The original was released in 2013, I think, and it had essentially the same lens design as this internally, the same glass layout and the same amount of elements. So image-wise, in theory, they should be identical or near identical. This newer version does have an aperture ring, which I was really excited about. That was kind of on my wish list with the original one. I would have been happy with the original one in terms of the size and image quality, but I love the tactile feel of the Fujifilm gear, from the dials on the camera to the aperture rings on the lenses. So I was really excited when this was announced and knew that eventually I would pick one up. And last weekend I was able to sell some used film gear that I wasn't using and put that towards this lens. So this is the lens without any rear caps or front caps on it. And it's nearly identical in size as the original, but the difference is this model has an aperture ring, like I said. The other differences between this and the original is that this is has the similar weather resistant sealing as the other smaller Fuji primes. And I've never used the original, but I think this one has a slightly faster autofocus as well. I've only shot a little bit with this so far, since I recently just picked it up, and I'll probably do a full review at some point, but I just want to talk about what I like about it so far and kind of why I picked it up. One of the main reasons I picked it up, honestly, is just I've always wanted a pancake lens for my Fuji camera. So I knew eventually I wanted to get a Fuji brand pancake prime for my X series cameras. So I was really happy to fulfill that off my checklist of gear to get. And so the size, the fact that it's pancake was one of the biggest reasons I picked it up. Even though like I have a 23mm and a 35mm, so I have lenses on both sides of this focal length, I still wanted to try this out. So far, just from using it the short time I have used it, I'm really impressed with the sharpness. It's a solid performer overall in that regard. Another thing I'm pleasantly surprised by is how well the 40mm equivalent focal length fits me. I'm a huge fan of that 50 or 50 equivalent. I'm really comfortable in that focal length range. As you know, if you've watched my videos, I've talked about that a lot. And the 40 doesn't feel so far off that it feels foreign to me. But yet I still can tell the difference. I can tell that extra, that little bit extra wide angle that it gives me. And it's kind of nice. I like that middle of the road between the 23 and 35. Now the challenge might be, as I shoot with these lenses through this next year or two, is deciding which one to grab. I think I'm just gonna have to do a lot more shooting and a lot more research through my own photo library to kind of decide what I'm going to use on a daily basis for shoot photography. But then I'm sure there will be situations where I'll want to pick the 27 up because of the compact size. It'll be easier to pack if I'm going on a trip, or if I'm packing a lot of gear to walk around with. This might be the one I choose for the purposes of having a compact setup. I don't want to make this video too long because this isn't going to be a complete review yet. I need to shoot with it more, and that way I can talk about it more with a complete experience of the whole aperture range of the lens, how it performs in different lighting situations and whatnot. I mean, I know there's a ton of reviews on this lens already. There's even more reviews of the original 27, which really speaks to this image quality since they're essentially the same internally. But I still want to do my own take on it, especially since I own the 16, the 23, and the 35 f2 primes. The 16 is a 2.8, but still, since I own those smaller Fuji primes, I can do a relatively thorough comparison between this and those. And I'm hoping to gather enough of my experience and enough information to help some of you decide what prime might work for you between the ones I've tried so far. So that's it for this video. It's just a kind of semi-reveal. I didn't want to do an unboxing because, I mean, it's just a lens. But I will be shooting with this a lot more often. So let me know if you've tried the original 27, this new 27, and let me know what you think about it. If not, do you plan on giving it a shot? If you are and you're on the fence about it, let me know if you have any questions and I'll try to answer those for you. So that's it for now. I appreciate all you guys. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.